Hey guys, this is a demo video to showcase RM features that we did in last couple of sprints, mostly in the areas of traceability and orchestration, but I would like to cover some other features as well as part of this video. So do bear with me. I'm in the release definition edit flow, and as you can see, there are three environments in this release definition: dev, int, and staging. What I would like to do here is to be able to deploy to dev and int in parallel, and then manually deploy to staging if I am satisfied with the deployments on dev and int. Remember, previously we could not do this because RM was a pipeline. Now you can actually go ahead and define the sequence of deployment to each of the environments as you wish. So you can do that by going to deployment conditions. This is the new option that is available now. By default, it is set to manual only. That means if the release is triggered, no deployments will happen to this dev environment until and unless you go and manually say deploy on this environment. So what I would like to do here is to start a deployment immediately after the release creation. What I would also like to do as part of this is define whether I would like to have multiple release deployments to this environment, or I want them to be queued one by one. And if I want them to be queued, whether I want to queue all the releases or only retain the latest release out there. What this means is, suppose I have release 1 to release 5 all queued on this environment. I can say only keep the release 5 and go ahead with release 5 while discard the rest of the releases because those are old releases. Let me just have the first option here and let's click OK. I will do the same for int environment. So I can go here and say start the deployment immediately after release creation, and I will leave this as it is. So this will allow multiple releases to get deployed without queuing them. I will also show you some approvals enhancements that we did. As you can see, you can actually have the approvals as automated, or you can specify some users. So I will specify a pre-deployment approver here. And in the post-deployment approval, I have a couple of them. There are new options here for these approvals. So you can say that whether these approvers, which is two here, all of them are required in any order, or any one of them can approve it. That means even if Chuck or Jamal approves it, the other approval is not required. Or I could have said like have all the approvals in the same order as it is mentioned here. So this means that Chuck would have to approve it first. After that, Jamal will have to approve it. So let me just keep it as any one of the specified users. There are other options here where you can enable email notification, or another policy that you can set which doesn't allow a user who creates the release to approve. So these are important policies frequently asked by our customers, so we have listened to them. As I said, I will be also covering other features. So there is one more feature sitting here which tells me deployment timeout in minutes. By default, it is set to 0. I have made it 30. This is behind the scenes. So if it is 0, that means it can be indefinite. So your deployment can take any amount of time. If you limit it to 30, that means if the deployment does not complete in 30 minutes, then this will be deemed as a failed deployment. So I'll just leave it as 30. Before I go ahead and start a new release, I would also like to show you one more feature that we did, which was retention policy. Now you can go ahead and delete your releases, or it can be automatically paused. Again, behind the scenes, I have made it to 10. By default, this is 60, and you can actually go as far as 365 days. That means whatever number of days that you mention here, after that, the releases will be paused. So any release which is more than 60 days old will be automatically paused. So this is a new feature that we did. I will show more on release deletion while I start and I'm into the release flow. So for now, I'll just save this and I'll trigger a new release. Let me pick build and create it. So release 19 has been queued. Let's go there. And as you can see here, both of them are in progress. right? So dev and int, because they had to be in parallel. You could also go ahead and like approve or reject the pre-deployment approval, which is for int environment. For dev, we didn't have any approval. So for int, I could type in saying that this is good to go. If you can see, there is another feature available here which says that when I want this deployment to happen. So I could actually defer it to a later date. This is a new feature. For now, I'll just approve it. And this will actually start the deployment. Ideally, if I had approved it earlier, it would have been finished, but that's okay. Now for staging environment, as I said, I had left it as manual, so I can deploy it manually from here. So if I say deploy, this brings up a very fancy UI, which actually tells me all the details of what I am going to deploy. So it tells me which release is it, what it is going to deploy in terms of which artifact it is deploying, and other details about the artifact. It also tells me the work items, as in which all work items are part of this. There are the commit details, and then who are approvers. Obviously there are no approvers here, so it doesn't show me anybody here. And then it also tells me about the task. So this is a good UI which lets you know what exactly you are deploying, what are the changes that you are planning to deploy as part of this release on this environment. And I can say deploy. So this will actually start this. In the meantime, if you can see, post deployment approval for int is waiting. I'll just go ahead and approve it. So both of them are succeeded and this is in progress. Let me also cover a few other features in terms of release orchestration. As I had talked about this, so I had a policy set on dev environment which says that you can queue releases on dev environment, while in int it allows multiple releases simultaneously on the same environment, right? So let's go and take a look at that once. So if you can see in dev environment, I can actually queue the releases. It doesn't allow all the releases going in parallel. While in case of int environment, I had set allow multiple releases to be deployed. So let me just go ahead and show you. I already had some releases run. So let me also queue another release here. So if I go to release 22, both of them are in progress and the dev is waiting for my approval. And this allows only one release to go ahead at a time. So let me go ahead and trigger another release here. So this is release 22 or 23. Okay. So now if I go and look at it, it says it is queued because the other release is going on. While in case of int, you can see that it is in progress. This is because this environment allows multiple releases to go on in parallel on int. So that's one, and let's go ahead and show you the delete releases. As I mentioned, you can go and delete the releases. So let's try to delete release 23. It should not allow me to delete because it is currently deployed or it is in progress somewhere. So you can only delete those releases which are no longer the latest deployment on any environment or which are no longer in progress. So let me go ahead and try to delete release 18. These are all succeeded and hopefully they are not the latest ones. As you can see that the build deployed are greater than this in the subsequent releases. So I'll just try to delete this. And it actually went ahead and deleted release 18. So that's all, I guess. Thank you. Hope you like these features. Let us know what you think about these features. Thank you.